Let me tell you something that might challenge you, might challenge what you've been told, might bring up some resistance, and please know that that is okay. If you're like, Astrid, what the hell are you actually talking about? That is okay because when you get this, you're going to have a wildly different experience in your life and business. Okay. And that is the fact that healing is not what is going to make you successful. I know that you've been told that if you clear your blocks, if you do more shadow work, if you heal your trauma, then the money, then the success, then the clients come. But honestly, how much time have you already spent healing and not getting the results that you want? How long have you been working on yourself, healing your blocks, clearing your energy, journaling about your limiting beliefs? And still, business is not moving the way that you know it should be because you know you are powerful. What if you knew that the problem isn't that you're not healed enough, but the problem is instead that you're waiting for healing to be the thing that changes your life. And healing is important, okay? Especially if you have trauma that is actually causing you to do and say things that actively undermine your success. It's important, but it's not the thing that's going to make you successful. The version of you who has everything that she wants, she's not waiting for one more breakthrough. Just like she's not, waiting for a strategy or a mentor to save her. She's not looking for healing to save her. She's not checking to see if she's ready. She just knows. And I just had a conversation with somebody in the Rich Witch Society today who I asked her a question, as I do. I love asking questions. And these questions really spark the insights that collapse time for you. I don't remember exactly what the question was, but oh, she commented, I made a post saying something like, how would you feel if you found out that there was a hidden camera in your house broadcasting how you've been moving in your life and business this week? How would you feel about the version of you that's being broadcast to the world? And I ended it with, if you're ready to play, DM me. And she commented, I'm ready. And I'm like, tell me more, right? Tell me more. Tell me what that actually looks like. Paint the picture for me. And she did, and it was beautiful. And she has been showing up in a different way. And I mentioned something else that she said, I have to admit, I'm scared as shit about that. I said, oh, I said, like, how is she moving differently? Something to that effect, right? And she said, other than like showing up in power and da da da, honestly, this part scares the shit out of me. And I mentioned how, like, do not be fooled by that fear because that fear is your portal. Do not fucking buy in. Do not be convinced that it's anything other than that. There is no more healing to do. This was the point of the conversation that, like, you're already doing it, literally are just needing to select how you're showing up now. And the truth is that she realizes she doesn't need more healing. She needs to show up as this person now. And that was me in 2018. I was journaling my fucking face off, okay? I was doing mindset coaching and, doing everything that I was told, journaling to fix myself, to heal my trauma, to clear my blocks, to upgrade my limiting beliefs, doing tapping and journaling together, 4 hours minimum a day. And then one day it just hit me when I was sitting there writing in my journal. I'm like, when am I going to finally stop healing and start being healed? When am I going to stop trying to fix myself and start experiencing myself in the rewards and the payoff of all this work that I've done on myself? And it was in that moment that everything changed for me. I've had a few moments where everything changed for me. This was one of the biggest ones. This is one of the reasons why I have opinions, I guess you could say, like, fuck your worthiness. Like, what is enoughness? What is worth? What is worthy? Like, to who? Why does it fucking matter? Who's measuring? Other than you, obviously. But it's not real. They're constructs. And a lot of the time they're cultural constructs and they change across cultures. It's not a real thing. It's not a real concept. Just like there's no measure for when you're healed. And a lot of people are looking for there to be a measure of when they're healed based on the results that they're getting back. Like I certainly was. Even though during that time when I was, journaling my fucking face off, I was making money. It wasn't that I couldn't make money. I was experiencing a lot of feast and famine, though. My money was certainly reflecting back to me the fact that I did not think that I could hold it or that people should even pay me. It was reflecting that for sure. And the thing that is really important to know is that you can have results. But if you're still seeing yourself as somebody who needs to be healed before you can have results, the results will come and you won't even see it, or you'll find a way to like get rid of them really fucking fast. Okay. What I realized about this is that healing is about healing, processing the past. Not healing is about healing the past, of course. It's about processing the past. And if you're really good at it, you're not just processing the past, you're revising the experience that you had. This is something that I started doing after my revelation. I came up with a whole ass modality called Black Flame Alchemy. And it happened because I was having these trauma loops. I mean, this was like a couple years later. I was having these trauma loops where I would just get stuck in this memory. And it was of something that was going on and it brought up a lot of shame in me. And I just hit one of these moments where I decided to experience that differently. Same situation, but a different perception of what was going on. And the loops stopped for good. And I also stopped feeling shame about being so incredibly extra. Okay. But so if you're really good at healing work, you're not just processing these things, you're shifting your perception of what has happened in each of these scenarios. And if you want to take it up a notch, you're shifting the entire thing that actually happened. Either way, though, that's still healing. You're still like on a timeline consciousness. You're still dipping into the past to tell you who you are today or to give you permission to be someone else. Okay. Identity is where we want to focus and where that insight and that awakening of me going, when am I going to just decide to be healed? Identity is what that insight and awakening brought me to. I started identifying as a healed woman. Just like when I stopped smoking cigarettes, I started identifying as a non-smoker. Identity is about selecting your future and your present moment simultaneously. You can clear every single limiting belief that you have. But if you're still identifying as the version of you who needs healing, you will keep on manifesting reasons to keep healing instead of reasons to thrive. You will keep on manifesting feast and famine cycles so that you can prove to yourself that there's something wrong with you, that there's something to fix. So you have to stop seeing yourself as someone who is healing and start moving as the woman who is already whole. And this is where your life begins taking shape around you. This is when you become magnetic to the kinds of clients, the quality of money, high quality money, which is money that you receive for just, pleasure in general instead of just surviving. High quality money, high quality clients, the kind that don't drain you, the kind that you're excited to show up for, and opportunities that make you go, fuck yes. Like, how is this my life right now? These are the things that start to happen in your world as a result of you selecting the version of yourself that you are choosing to be. And this is very witchy in nature. Identity is very witchy in nature because of the way it makes you so magnetic. You're magnetic either way, okay? You're magnetic if you're healing, you're magnetic if you are healed. It's just what you're magnetic to changes. You're still the witch in either of these. You're always creating, I guess we could say creating, manifesting experiences that match you, that match who you are, always. And this is why identity work is connected to the witch inside of the magnetic tetrad. For those of you who do not know what the magnetic tetrad is, it is my body of work called the architecture of business consciousness. And the magnetic tetrad is like it's the architecture of business consciousness, colon, the magnetic tetrad. It's two things. And the system is whole. The system is complete while also constantly inviting infinite expansion. And it is the most beautiful thing that I wish that I had way back in the day. I wish that these were things that I knew and had access to. But for me, I had to learn it through trial and error, which is great because the process for me, the journey for me has been incredible, especially when you see yourself on the other side. You're like, oh, it's totally worth it. Totally worth that hell to be able to, articulate these transformations or this kind of system, and not just to articulate it, to download it and to translate it into language and messaging and offers and trainings and content, right? So that's what the magnetic tetrad is, by the way. And there are four rulers inside the magnetic tetrad, the witch being one of them. And the witch is uh, an icon of mastery and of mystery. And she's not waiting for healing. She decides that she's already whole. Like, she doesn't even have to decide. She just is already whole. And she doesn't ask, am I ready? She knows that reality bends to her will. She doesn't ask, like, oh, can I say that? Can I do that? Like, am I really good enough? No, you think about a witch. And also, she doesn't go digging into her past. Think about a witch casting a spell, and for some reason, it didn't work. Okay. Do you think the witch is going to go like retrace all of her steps and try and figure out what it means about her and try and figure out, why it didn't work? No, she's going to just cast a new spell. And this is a really beautiful part of embodying the witch because you have this too. You have instant access to this anytime. And that's why as I'm breaking down the architecture of business consciousness inside the Rich Witch Society, it's why I've started with the witch, because one, it's the Rich Witch Society, but two, to activate this force within you, to call it up within you so that you can start using it right now without having to do more work on yourself. Okay. that you get to decide, and you also get to be supported in your decision where you can bring stuff to the group. You can ask questions. You can just make posts about the things you're curious about. Maybe you get a taste for something and you go, I'd really like to have a little bit more of that. Could you talk about this, right? Whatever it is, your curiosity and your questions are what activates the genius of this container of the Rich Witch Society. And as I'm teaching, these different concepts that are literally going to change everything about the way that you move and show up and receive in your life and business. And it's not just teaching, it's also an activation. As you experience the activation of this within you, your life looks wildly different than the version of you who thinks like, I'm blocked. You get to learn to work with the energy of knowing that reality bends for you. That is not a question if you can have that kind of success, or if you can work with that kind of client, or if you're good enough. Your identity being connected with the witch is one that weaves magic and knows that shit just gets done. Who knows that opportunities come to her. Okay. And if this sounds really good for you, this is what we have been diving into inside the Rich Witch Society. The witch, and then today we did identity as well, the Rich Witch identity. Posted already the first part of the homework, which is an audit, really like where you are in how you're identifying right now, not what's ideal, but like what's actually going on. And I think a lot of people are afraid of looking at like what's actually going on because you're supposed to not think that way about yourself. But honestly, if you cannot accept who you've been being, this is where you start getting into Delulu land. And delusional is not a good look. You want to be in the knowing. And I don't just mean look as in like the outside. I mean, it's not a great place to be in. If you're going to like even look at what delusional is, it's the fact that you are incredibly powerful, that there's nothing separate to you, yet you're saying you're blocked, or you're constantly casting a spell of an old identity that you really have no desire to continue embodying, but can't stop. That's delusional. To think that you're anything other than supremely fucking powerful and can have everything that you want the way you want it. Okay, so if this is hitting deep in you and you're like, yeah, I think I would like to explore a different fucking way, Astrid, thank you very much. We're diving into the identity shifts that change everything in your business because this is something that you can't journal yourself into. This is something that you decide. This is something that is activated in you, that's already active in you. It's the remembrance, the which is really about remembering. So this is why you don't have to sit in your journal and like sort it out for 4 hours every single day before you're ready to present yourself to the world, if you're anything like me in the way that I used to do things. So reach out to me on Instagram if you want to talk about what this looks like in a practical way, in fusing it into your life and business, or come and join us in the Rich Witch Society. I will put the links in the description and you can just come in and join us. And I will be so happy. And also know that like there's no catching up in the Rich Witch Society. There's nothing to catch up to. You come in and this membership is a super low ticket membership and you treat it as if it's an oracle, right? There's a call schedule. Put the call schedule in your calendar. If you can't make it live, the thing is streamed right into the group so you can watch the replay. But also, You can select anything in there. There's over a year of past content that you can just select anything that feels like it's calling to you and go there because everything in this membership is designed to meet you where you're at. It's designed to be the portal that walks you directly into your own identity as the rich witch. It's everything is designed to acquaint you with this version of yourself, to call it up in you so you can start expressing yourself and your life can start expressing itself back to you in the rich witch manner. Okay. So I will see you in there and I'll see you on the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe and maybe watch another video if you're not coming to join us. If you are, then watch those videos inside the membership. Okay. See you on the next one.